on to the highly anticipated presentation of the Deane C. Davis Award. So 24 years ago, the Vermont Business Magazine and the Vermont Chamber of Commerce talked about creating a special award for the Vermont business community that exhibited the outstanding accomplishment in sales, community involvement, employee relations, and recognition of its place in our environment. Last year, this award was presented to GW Plastics. This award is named for the late Governor Deane C. Davis, whose name is not only synonymous with business and industry in Vermont, but also with Vermont's legislative history. These companies have demonstrated success by continued growth in the number of employees and/or sales. And I have to tell you, that's been no easy feat over the last 5 years. The commitment of company resources, including employees to community projects, recognition of the environment as a natural and economic resource for Vermont, and the creation of a positive work environment for all their employees. It's my pleasure now to introduce our partner and co-presenter of the Deane C. Davis Award, John Booten, publisher of Vermont Business Magazine, and he will introduce this year's finalists.
Thank you, Betsy. It's good to see everybody this year. I love this show. It's a great time, like the saying says, to connect, learn, and grow. And it's just so great to see so many of you here today. Vermont Business Magazine and Vermont Chamber are celebrating, like Betsy said, the 24th year of the Deane C. Davis Award. And it's fitting, it's the 30th year of the Expo. And it just seems they're just so intertwined, the two events. And we are very proud of having the Deane C. Davis Hall of Fame, which was probably about 5 years ago, well, more than that, where we formed the Deane C. Davis Hall of Fame up at UVM in the business school at Coughlin Hall. If you have an opportunity, you should go and check it out. And I think on the 25th anniversary next year, we will be inducting the last few that just joined the Deane C. Davis Club. And now let's see who the finalists are for the Deane C. Davis Outstanding Vermont Business of the Year Award this year. And let me just say, we had a great number of companies that were nominated this year, and it took several hours to go through all of this and to come up with the 3 finalists, and then even more time to come up with the finalists. And let me just say, the 3 finalists are, in my eyes, all winners. And we do have plaques for all 3 of them. So stick around. If you're not the winner this year, you are a finalist, and you should be proud of that fact. As I call out your names from each company, please wave to the audience so they can applaud your achievement. So in alphabetical order, dealer.com, High Mowing Organic Seeds, and PC Construction. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that all 3 of them are highlighted in this month's issue of Vermont Business Magazine. So pick up your copy. Now to present the award, it's my great pleasure to introduce the Governor of the State of Vermont, Governor Peter Shumlin.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Betsy. Let's give it up to Betsy Bishop, to Jess Gingrich, and the Chamber team for the 30th Vermont Expo. Really, it's incredibly exciting. There's going to be 3,000 folks, we assume, they're going to pile through here to find ways to learn about growing jobs and economic opportunity in Vermont. So thanks to John and Vermont Business Magazine for all they're doing, to all of our sponsors, TD. And I got to say, Beth mentioned Fairpoint, internet connection, the investments they're making. We sometimes hear those numbers and we don't recognize that we're talking about real people. So I got to tell you about my mom. A couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, my dad passed away. Their 62nd wedding anniversary would be today, were he here. And my mom is an example of why it's so important to get high-speed internet access to every last mile of Vermont. Fairpoint's been an extraordinary partner. The week that he died, after being on a copper line all of their lives, Fairpoint connected my mom to high-speed internet access, and a Fairpoint team came into the house and hooked her up. Now that's service, that's quality, that's getting things done. So thank you, Beth. We're talking about real people. I got to say a couple words about where we are before I get to unglue the envelope, because I tried to steam it open and they got mad at me. Listen, we got a lot to celebrate at this particular expo, and we got a lot to celebrate about both the leadership and the commitment of not only the Vermont Chamber, but all of the members of the Vermont Chamber that make this organization possible. It's more than coincidence that Vermont has, as of last Friday, the second lowest unemployment rate in America. It's because of all the entrepreneurs, all of the innovators that are at this conference and across our state who are creating jobs every single day, and the partnership with the Chamber that allows us to make the public policy choices that make sense. What do I mean? The Chamber partnered with me for the last 4 years to make sure that while we met Vermont's needs, we didn't raise already high enough income taxes, sales taxes, rooms and meals taxes on hardworking middle-class Vermonters who are struggling to make ends meet. They helped us ensure that we got the Vermont Enterprise Fund, which gives, for the first time in any governor's history, gives us $4.5 million this year alone to help close the gap when we're trying to recruit new high-paying jobs to Vermont or retain jobs that are here already that have the potential to continue to grow economic opportunity for Vermont. That's a big deal. They helped us get another $500,000 to VITA so that when a couple of bright people show up in Vermont with a vision and they want to start a little company, for websites, maybe like dealer.com, and they're working out of a garage somewhere and they got no money and banks won't touch them, we now have the ability through VITA to get loans to entrepreneurial, high potential, good ideas that will help us grow more jobs in the future. $500,000 more bucks in there, that's a big deal. So thank you, Vermont Chamber. And finally, I'll just say that the real reason that we're here to celebrate this 30th Expo is because of you. And you maybe have heard me tell this story, but I got to tell it one more time. I'll never forget being up in St. Albans at Myland. Myland's a great company. They have plants all over the world. And they had chosen to expand another 160 jobs right here in Vermont. And the CEO flew in, and I asked Heather, I said, Heather, in the end, how did Vermont get these jobs? And she said, well, you were competing with our plants all over America and all over the world, because they've got plants in China and India and all over the world. She said, but in the end, because of our experience here, over 3 decades of workforce in Vermont, we knew that what we had in St. Albans was something that we couldn't get anywhere else where we work, which is all over America and all over the world, and it's this simple. The most dedicated, innovative, hardworking workforce that you'll find anywhere. That's why we're growing jobs, because of Vermont's extraordinary workforce. So thank you, Chamber, for putting together this really important expo, 30 years to celebrate. And let's give it up to 24 years of Deane Davis awards. Deane Davis was a logical governor who cared more about growing jobs than he did about partisan politics. And that's exactly what we should be doing here in the state of Vermont. So I'm really honored to be here with the whole team. I want to give a shout out to John Valeni, the board chair of Vermont Chamber. Thank you, John, for your great work. Give us a wave because you're hiding. All right, we love you. So the finalists, as you know, this year are Dealer.com. I know Mike Lane is here from Dealer. Thank you for everything you're doing to grow jobs and economic opportunity in Vermont. You know, you don't get much better than a growth rate like Dealer.com with a vision and the tenacity to get it done. So what a great team. High Mowing Organic Seeds, I'm Tom Stearns, Meredith Davis and the team. I'm planting your seeds in my garden this spring, just want you to know that. And PC Construction, Kevin McCarthy, Jay Fayette. You know, I know Jay, I just saw recently, he had me pouring concrete down at the Waterbury project they're doing for us. Biggest single investment in infrastructure, capital infrastructure in Vermont's history in that project alone. PC Construction giving us a big hand there. I know, thank you. And I know John Pizzagalli is here, and you know, there's a little bit of heritage. There's a connection between Pizzagalli and PC. That's the P in PC, just in case you're wondering. So thank you, John, and thanks to your family for having a vision to grow those jobs in Vermont. And I also want to give a shout out to Pat Binns, who's the Consul General from Canada. Pat, thanks for joining us. Where'd you go? Appreciate all you're doing. Our biggest trading partner is Quebec. Let's never forget it. And Canada. We love them. So, for the moment we've been waiting for, the Deane C. Davis 24th nominees we've just mentioned. We're proud of all of them. We're also proud of all the companies that didn't get nominated, right, Betsy?
Absolutely.
But they would have been if we could have. But can I open it?
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Come on, give it up to a drum roll. Give me a drum roll. The 2013 Deane C. Davis Outstanding Vermont Business of the Year is Dealer.com. Go Dealer. Come on, Mike. Come on, Dealer team. We need you up here. Congratulations. We're proud of you. Way to go. All right. Come on, crowd it on in. This is our moment. Are you ready? Here. Let me unbutton.
Everybody come up a step or two?
Yep. Forward it up. Bring it forward. This is for our director. Okay. Nice. Sure. Put the tall guy in back. This is hard work. All right.
DC team right here, DC team.
See how hard my job is? Yeah. Hey, let's give it up to Dealer.
I was told to have some remarks ready, so we have some. Thank you, Governor, John, Betsy. It's an honor to receive this award. It's also an honor to be acknowledged with the other nominees. They're all great companies as well. Over 15 years ago, we started Dealer.com. It's been a big journey. A lot of things have happened recently along that journey. But when we started 15 years ago, there was a lot of challenges because doing a tech company in Vermont, Vermont just wasn't known for that. We were known for tourism, Ben & Jerry's, and listening to fish. And that's often what we heard about wherever we went and did a pitch. But today, the landscape has changed dramatically. Tech is a big part of Vermont and culture, along with other sciences and growing industry. And there's a real reason for that. One is the quality of life here is just amazing. And the second, what the governor was talking about, is the passion that people have here and how hard we actually work and get stuff done. A big part, too, is the government's tone has changed, and a big piece of that is people like the Chamber are really making a difference and making sure the government really understands what's happening in the business community. Now, dealer.com has grown dramatically. If no one knows, we are a pretty big force on Pine Street these days with parking and all. Today in Vermont, we have 850 employees. That's still growing. Woo! We're still growing too, which is an important piece everyone always asks about today. As of this morning, we have 20 job openings right now, so if anyone's looking, careers.dealer.com. We are publicly traded today. We did merge with DealerTrack Corporation, which is another large automotive company. And together we're about 3,000 people across the United States and Canada. And we've tried to stay true to our roots here in Vermont and made sure that that's going to continue. So what we've done to really strengthen that is we started a CSR program, and that's about social responsibility in the community, which Jill leads up, and she's here with us today. And that's really about making sure that we connect with the community. So just a couple stats real quick on how we do that and plan to continue to do that. We have 6 large community grants right now. We give our employees a day off every year just to volunteer, and that's already equaled 4,400 community hours that we've invested in the local community here. And that's across 38 different organizations. We're big fans of the King Street Youth Center. We run the Woody Classic every summer, and that raised about $58,000 for them just last year alone. And Spectrum is near and dear to my heart as well. And I also just recently slept outside on their sleep out. We raised about $28,000, just our corporate team, and that was a very rough night. I've never done that before. And then public transportation. It's not giant in this community, but it is growing, and we're big fans of that. And we've used about 8,200 rides in the past year alone just on CCTA. And that's going to continue. So in closing, thank you to everyone. Thank you for the award. It's great to be here, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.